Hello everybody, this is Kya Akashika Patru, and for today's video I'll be talking about DNA again. Yes, last time I talked about DNA was 3 years ago, and this time I guess you will get more content about DNA than you did the last time. And this time, as I'm in class 12th right now, I have probably heard the word DNA more times, and I'm more fluent in pronouncing deoxyribonucleic acid. That is the full form of DNA. Right, so why is DNA exactly called deoxyribonucleic acid and why not something else? Yes, we'll talk about that in a while, and let us talk about what exactly DNA is. So, DNA is a polynucleotide. Seems like a long word. I talked about this word back in that video as well, but I did tell you what exactly a nucleotide was. Let us talk about that in this video. Okay, so what exactly is DNA? I told you that it is a nucleotide pair, right? So deoxyribonucleic acid is the name of DNA because it is made up of something called as a deoxyribose. It is basically a sugar. It is a 5 carbon forming a ring, and that in which the second carbon has hydrogen group instead of the hydroxyl group or the OH group, and that is what makes the DNA different from RNA, because the RNA has the hydroxyl group in the second carbon, basically all of the carbons as such. On the other hand, the DNA lacks the OH or the hydroxyl group in the second carbon, instead it is replaced by the hydrogen group, right? And this is what is exactly the DNA or the deoxyribose. Okay, and if the deoxyribose along gets a partner, that is the nitrogen bases, basically the adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine, these are the nucleotides as well, right? So if that is added to it, then it is forming a nucleoside. And if this is attached with a phosphate group, then it forms a nucleotide. And all of these nucleotides together combine to form something called as a nucleic acid, and that is what exactly DNA is. A DNA is a nucleic acid, and this is formed by a combination of a nucleotide. And this is why it is called as a deoxyribonucleic acid, because it's a nucleic acid made up of a deoxyribose sugar, right? So I told you in the last video, like back then I told you that it is something called as a spiral ladder, right? And it has this spiral ladder like shape with stair like structures. So let us talk about what exactly those ladder were and what exactly those stairs were, right? So the base of the DNA is made up of these nitrogenous the base of it is made up of this pentose sugar along with the help of the phosphate group. On the other hand, these stairs or the ladders or the steps are made up of these nucleotides. Yes, right, that is what exactly I did. A pairs with T and C pairs with G, and these pairing occurs with the hydrogen bonds, and C and G pair is more tighter. Why? It is because it has 3 hydrogen bonds attached to it. On the other hand, A and T have 2 hydrogen bonds in between them. Let me tell you about the fact that DNA is about 2.2 meters long.